Continuing our coverage on the Patriots roster reset, we're heading over to the tight end position, definitely a position of need for the 2020 Patriots. I'm Sierra Goodwill here with Evan Lazar. We've talked a lot about this, but the upcoming draft is obviously a time where the Patriots can address this need directly at tight end. Who intrigues you as a draft prospect?
Well, unfortunately for the Patriots, it's one of the more underwhelming tight end classes in the last couple of years. And it's really, to me, a two-name race for the Patriots on the first 2 days of the draft. And it's Notre Dame's Cole Kmet and Dayton's Adam Trautman. We've talked a lot about these two already. With Kmet, sort of has that physical, field-stretching, vertical seam catcher that Gronk kind of presented. Obviously not Rob Gronkowski, but that sort of skill set of like a big, physical, vertical passing game type of tight end, a guy that has a great catch radius, good physicality after the catch to rumble and break contact and break tackles, but not the most explosive of guys or the most dynamic of route runners. I think Trautman, on the other hand, is a little bit smoother in and out of his breaks, a little bit more fluid in his movements, but doesn't have quite the movement skills or quite the explosion that Kmet has. So both guys are bigger, 6'5", 260, 255. They can put their hand in the ground and they can block. They have some technique issues that they'll need to work out. And Trautman also has the level of competition where he's going to be jumping from the FCS to the pro level that you need to consider. I don't think either one of them are first-round prospects. I think both of those guys are day two players. So the Patriots will have to position themselves in that second round, I think, to land either one of them. But it's really those two guys for me. And then everybody else is kind of in that day three, take a flyer on type category. If you're trying to look for true impact players, it's going to be either Trautman or Kmet from Notre Dame.
Well, since it's not a very robust tight end draft class, and those guys might be off the table for the Patriots, is there anyone still on the trade market that you think the Patriots should look into?
Well, the Chicago Bears now have about 4 or 5 tight ends on their depth chart after signing Jimmy Graham to a ridiculous contract, but that's a video for another day. So they have Trey Burton and Jimmy Graham under contract on big cap numbers. They have Adam Sheehan, who they drafted in the second round a few years ago out of Ashland, Ohio, which is a small school out of the Ohio area. And Sheehan has really underperformed. He hasn't blossomed into the player that they were expecting. But at the same time, when you turn on his tape from college, it reminds me a lot of watching Trautman, right? Just a big 6'6", 250-pound target that can get down the field, that can block a little bit, that does all those types of things. He's just really not gotten a fair shake of it, I would say, in Chicago. Hasn't had the best kind of opportunity there with them bringing in Burton and now them bringing in Graham. So I would call Chicago and see if Adam Sheehan is available. I'd also call the Cleveland Browns and ask them about David Njoku, former first-round pick, super athlete, more of a flex tight end, a guy that you're going to detach from the formation and not necessarily ask to block all that much in line. But at the same time, his receiving skills are off the charts. He's a guy that would immediately bring an upside to the red zone that they don't currently have at that position. So he's certainly a better pass catcher than anybody they've had on the roster for the last 2 years. So he's had some injury concerns. He hasn't lived up to expectations in Cleveland. That new coaching staff, I think, might be ready to move on. So I'd give those two teams a call.
For all the rest of our Patriots content, head on over to our website at clnsmedia.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Patriots Press Pass.